I think all great media that, is not made for, but maybe geared heavily towards men, tends to be unintentionally always like super gay. Naruto. Of course, there's the intensely homoerotic relationship between Naruto and Sasuke. And you know what? I support it. I've definitely never asked ChatGPT to write an episode of Naruto Shippuden where Naruto and Sasuke fall in love. I haven't done that. Never, not even once, not even a single time. I was thinking, the Akatsuki, right? Painted nails, facial piercings. I was gonna say tattoos, but I don't know of any that have tattoos. But they, they're into body mod. They're those kinds of gays. I don't know if it's me or if this is common opinion or common sensibility, but I feel like the Akatsuki in Naruto Shippuden are the best non-binary representation in all of media. And I'm gonna die on that hill. So essentially what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be ranking every single Akatsuki member based on how non-binary I think that they are. Because I have nothing else better to do. In my life is pressuring me to do this and telling me that this is going to be the thing that's going to help you make it big one day. No one's told me that, but I don't care because I'm doing it for myself. And you, for whoever is wasting their time and watching this. Zetsu. Zetsu's a piece of shit. Yeah, he is. He's really annoying. He's really condescending. He's a mama's boy. Very unappealing. You know what I mean? And his true form, Black Zetsu, he's just like a puddle. He's just like a mass of chakra or whatever. He's his mother's will. Unhealthy relationship, but that's not for me to talk about. But yeah, when ranking how non-binary Zetsu is, I would say that piranha plant form, that was pretty sick. The green hair, you know what I mean? You know what that means. Pronouns. But, based on Zetsu's personality and the way that he goes about, his business, it's not giving non-binary to me. It's giving maybe like evil gay man, you know what I mean? Because there's definitely been a few of those, but he's not non-binary. He's very much a man and a bad guy. He's like James Charles. Yeah, I would give him, I would say maybe 2 out of 10 Adam Sandlers. By the way, yes, Adam Sandler is going to be the unit of measurement for this video, specifically because of the fact that I believe that Adam Sandler is the most non-binary person in the world. He may not know what that means, but he just is. If you get it, you get it. Kisame is not non-binary at all. That is a man. That is a man. That is a man. An eccentric man, by the way. I get into the gills, the shark teeth, and the baby blue skin, that's very, that's something. I think if you shipped Link with Prince Sidon and Breath of the Wild, that you would probably, you'd probably get into Kisame. It's the similar kind of like shark man kind of fantasy. And whatever does it for you, does it for you. Kisame is definitely like, he does gay stuff when he does coke, but he would never talk about it. He would never be open about it. It takes a couple of bumps and he's there, but you know what I mean? When he's sober, it's like pulling teeth. Yeah, so Kisame's giving me full on, man. I'm giving him a 0 out of 10 Adam Sandler. Sorry, babe. Like Midsummer. Do you remember that? Well, no. That just sounds like fucking Al Pacino. Okay. He done. Yeah, he done. He doesn't give me non-binary at all. At the most, he's giving me he, they. He's giving me, he's giving me very much like, I, got a tongue piercing and I do stick and poke tattoos in the back of my, Mustang. But, he's a man at the end of the day. You know what I mean? He drinks PBRs and, he doesn't watch Joe Rogan podcasts, but he flirts with the idea. He thinks about it sometimes. His uncle, shoots out some of that rhetoric at him, and he doesn't disagree with everything that he hears, mind you. No. Yeah, see, no, he done, even though he's a bit of a piece. Is it just me? He's a bit of a piece. No, No, not non-binary at all. No, he's 0 out of 10 Adam Sandlers. Okay, moving on the list to Conan. Conan, I love her. I know her. I think you know her too. She's the barista with this piercing right here. She makes origami flowers because, you know, she's an Aquarius, so she really thinks that, you know, she's adding something to the world, and maybe she isn't, but, you know, we don't have to be the ones to tell her that. Let her father. So that girl, you know what I mean, she had a crush on her best friend when she was in middle school, and, you know, she didn't know that she was gay until she listened to a Tegan and Sarah song. But, you know, since then she's done a lot of growing. You know what I mean? Are you getting the image? Are you getting the image? She listens to, you know, Chappelle Roan, but maybe not in like an annoying way. She likes Clairo. She defends Taylor Swift, and she defends, you know, her being a woman. That doesn't necessarily mean that she likes her music, but, you know, she's just an advocate. Yeah, Conan's giving me she, they. I would say I would give Conan maybe 6 out of 10 Adam Sandlers. Saucery. Saucery is an evil twink. You know, I think we've all known an evil twink. You know, ooh, am I shaking the camera? My bad. Yeah, Saucery is an evil twink. Do you know an evil twink? I think I know a couple. You know, but the body mods, the red hair, that's all pretty fruity, if we're all being honest. Saucery of the red sand, that's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, Saucery is giving me very much like, the ran through he, they, you know what I mean? He's your roommate. He comes home, you know, only after the clock strikes midnight, you know what I mean? He's pretty unpredictable. He doesn't have a job, but he always pays rent on time. You're not entirely sure how he does it, but you kind of don't want to know. He doesn't have any food in the pantry, but doesn't like when you take up his pantry spot. And sometimes he'll put some, like, I don't know. What do guys like that? Ooh, spaghetti hoops. Because they're nostalgic to him, but if you ask him what it reminds him of, he'll get really upset. Yeah, so Saucery, he's giving me pretty non-binary. Yeah. He's giving me maybe like 6 out of 10 Adam Sandlers. No, 5. Not that it fucking matters. Datara is giving very, he's giving very femboy, but he's like a weeb femboy. Do you know what I mean? He is giving the whole, like, you know, he's wearing the maid outfit. He's just doing the whole gig. You know what I mean? That kind of like femboyism feels like very like geared towards a very, very, very specific demographic. I'm not saying Markiplier is the kind of person that would enjoy that, but I think his viewers certainly would. Yeah, I also really get into Datara's kind of like perspective on art, because that's kind of how I feel too. You know, art is an explosion. You know, the beauty comes from how ephemeral it is. Maybe not always with art, although I do agree on that point, but that's kind of just how I feel life in general. Everything's temporary. Everything comes and goes just like that. I think that makes it even more valuable, how temporary everything is, but not to veer off into a whole life chat. You know what I mean? We're not even smoking a cigarette together outside of a dive bar, so why would I tell you that? Yeah, Datara is giving me, he's pretty non-binary. He's giving me he, they. Not full they, them, but very he, they. I give Datara a 7.5 Adam Sandlers out of Adam Sandlers. 7.5 out of 10, babe. Who am I missing? Kakuzu. He's also giving me very, very he, they. Maybe even they, he. Or could Kakuzu be a they, them? I don't know. The Balaklava thing, that's not necessarily giving me they. That's kind of cis man coded. But those Christmas eyes, those Christmas ornament eyes, those terrifying, horrifying eyes that I wish that I had in real life. No, yeah, that's pretty NB. That's pretty NB coded. Because only a non-binary person would think that's okay. also all the hearts, you know what I mean? He's into body mod. He turned his body into like a writhing mass of black tentacles, so you know he loves Lovecraft. Yeah. He probably likes steampunk. He's one of those. He really wants to take you out to like a trivia mead night at like a Viking bar, but you know, you're too polite to say that you just don't want to go, so you just say, "Oh, I'm busy, sorry." Um, yeah, I lived in the mountains. I knew a lot of those fuckers. God. No, I don't want to be a part of your queer volleyball league. Oh god. Kagazu, you get 7 out of 10 Adam Sandler's, babe. Okay, Nagato, just thinking about his visage, you know, it ignites quite a bit in me. Not in that way, trust and believe. I don't get necro, if you know what I mean. But former scene kid back in the day, like he had a Gur backpack, Invader Zim Gur. He really liked unicorns. He wore a ton of wrist bracelets. Maybe he never had colored hair, but he wore a lot of colorful belts, you know, those studded belts. He was very that guy. But now he's like in his early 30s, and he's like the manager at a Domino's, and he hits his pen in that walk-in fridge because he just wants to feel something. Poor thing. He probably was also like really into like Overwatch and like Fortnite and all those other video games that, you know, your boyfriend probably plays, or if you're a young man, you probably enjoy playing. Not that you shouldn't, you know, everyone do your thing. But he gives very much that vibe, and, you know, that combined with the other qualities, you know, personally, I wouldn't find those qualities to be together incredibly appealing. I don't know about you, maybe that does it for you, but you know, not for me. It's gonna be my, yeah, not for me. Mm-hmm. Oh. Decapitation. Itachi, you know, he is an emo boy. He's very raw. He's very XD, you know. He's very, you know, blood on the dance floor before that was like, you know, not okay. Very Pierce the Veil, very Asking Alexandria, very, I don't know, who the fuck else was, Black Veil Brides, did I already say that? Motionless in White, I love them. Yeah, neither here nor there. Fucking Itachi, he's an emo guy. You know, he was the kind of guy that fucking Aisha Erotica was talking about in that one song. Emo boy, yeah. Itachi, you kind of know, like, I feel like emo boys in general are a little bit non-binary coded because, like, they grow out their hair, some wear makeup, a lot of them paint their nails, a lot of them wear, like, the kind of, like, more neon and vibrant colors that some men are afraid to. So, in a way, they're a little bit non-binary coded. A little bit. So, I feel like Itachi is, like, non-binary in the way that, like, you know, those, like, emo guys that would have the giant kind of, like, drag hair that would, like, tease up their hair. Or, you know, Itachi's like a goth emo guy. He's very sad, very depressed. Love that. Yeah. I give Itachi those painted nails. I had never seen a boy with painted nails before until I watched fucking Naruto. Oh my god, how Naruto made me gay. Yeah, okay. I'll say I give Itachi 8 out of 10 Adam Sandlers. Pain. The world shall go Pain had asked. Yes, Pain is great. He is non-binary as all hell. The orange hair, the purple eyes, the face piercings, his polycule, excuse me, yes. Pain is as close to a non-binary person in an anime as I've probably ever seen, maybe since, like, I don't know. See, I have nothing else to compare it to. Kirby. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kirby. Love Kirby. Yeah, pain, love pain. Love pain, yeah, hit somebody, hit me. Yeah, love pain. Pain is great. Pain is non-binary. Pain is full on they, them. They, them, they, zir, the whole fantasy, babe. Pain is a 10 out of 10. Adam Sandler's what I was gonna say king. No, the monarch. The monarch of the days. Pain. The world shall know pain. I give it to you, babe. Am I missing anybody from the Akatsuki? Please let me know in the comments below. Oh, okay. Alright. Great to be here. Happy to be here. Hope you enjoyed this. You know what? If you enjoyed it, maybe consider subscribing so you can see me, spin out in my room by myself again. So, happy to be here. Who am I missing? If I forget someone really important, then, the neckbeards, they're gonna fucking decapitate me.